live. We're live.
We're live now.
We are live.
What's going on, 239 Hockey? It's been a long couple of weeks since we've been back on the air. This is the Thursday Throwdown on Thursday. It's exciting. We're back. We got Cortez, myself, Ryan, Ability, and Dalai Lama. So we're just going to get after it, man. There's been a lot of stuff that we haven't covered in the last couple of weeks. A lot of stuff happened. We've got awards to go over. We've got the finals to go over. We've got the upcoming season. Season number 9's on the way. And, we've got a new game to talk about. So let's get into it.
Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to assume that was headed my way. So I'm just going to take it. All right. So 239, I love you. I love almost all of you. There's like 5 specific A-listers that made my shit list in the last couple of days, but that's besides the point. The rest of you, I love you wholeheartedly. There's a couple people I gotta say, Viper, thanks for signing up. Drug Monkey, thanks for signing up. You guys left me hanging. I didn't know what was going on, but I'm glad you decided to jump in there, even if I don't get an opportunity to draft you. Before we get into too much crap, I just want to throw it out there real quick that I cried earlier because Daly's not here, and I thought he was going to be here, and I'm so sad about it. I shed a tear. I'm not happy. I'm actually drinking excessively tonight because of it. But we're just going to let that slide right now. I'm going to send this off to Cortez. How are you doing tonight, you beautiful son of a bitch?
Well, what's funny is Ability there was actually talking about how my night's been going. That's exactly what I was doing. I was crying a little bit. I've been drinking a little excessively as well. The Icon, of course, can't make his own show. This is the 4th week in a row. So thumbs up to him. But listen, I'm happy to be here. It's been a while. We've got some shit to talk about. But we've got the sexiest man in this league on the show. He's been doing great in his personal life with some workouts. Dalai Lama, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's actually fortuitous that Daly didn't show up because it gave me enough time to get all my shit done so I can be on here and tell you some actual relevant news. I'm really excited to talk about 239. It's been a long time, and the new season coming up. I'm pretty excited for it too.
Perfect then. Bill, Pale. So kind of lagged there at the end of sending it off to somebody, so we'll just kind of figure this whole thing out because you're good now.
Am I?
You're good now.
Hopefully.
Yes, you're good now. So go ahead and take it. If you lag, one of us will start going.
All right. So I guess the logical point to start off on would be the finals. Cortez, your team kind of made a miracle comeback there to take home the finals against Dom Silva's teams, who was an upset to be there to begin with, getting in there over No Regretski's team, who I think was pretty much everybody's consensus favorite to win Season 8, being that they were the Season 8 champions. But yeah, I mean, how do you feel, man? You're a champion in 239. What's the feeling over there?
I mean, it's great and all. Their team put up a tough battle. Night number 1, I was in a bad mood. I mean, they brought it to us. We couldn't adjust. We made some lineup changes. Bad goals went in for both teams in some situations. Good goals went in for both teams. It was just I'll tell you, it was the word fun is not the word I would use, but an exciting series is what I would use. I mean, we had a great time playing them. They were very strong offensively and defensively. Obviously, they had one of the best goalies in the league at the time. Either way, it was a great series. I mean, I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of their team for being able to show up and play and showcase why they beat the Season 8 champions and why they were the better team than the Season 8 champions. So, I mean, overall, at the end of the day, it was a great experience. It's great to be a champion. I'm happy with all my team, and I'm happy to be where we're at.
Dolly, you were on the other side of that. I know what that feels like, losing in 7 after being up big in a series, in a championship series. What happened? I mean, is there any one thing that you can point out and say, this is where we messed up, this is what happened?
Okay. Well, I'm going to start this off by saying we were very fortunate that Cortez was gracious enough to give us an opportunity to end the series on the first night. We didn't do that, and that is on us. We played really hard the first night, and they squeaked out a win in that game 4, and they came back the next night with a new plan, and we came back without two, I don't want to say 2 starters, but Pog's trying from Mexico was tough, and Rybish, Finney's not Rybish. That being said, they played a hell of a 3 games to end that series, and they deserved every bit of the win that they got. We're a product of our own scheduling, and that's something that is nobody's fault but our own. So we were just grateful to be where we were. We played our hearts out against Regretskis, and we played our hearts out that first night. And I think it showed. I think everybody knows that we tried our best. So it was great.
Ability outsider looking in, did you get a chance to watch the series at all?
Did I get a chance? I watched everything in that series. In fact, man, I watched the series a second time, at least the closing games, because I really wanted to see why it was that Dominator Silva and crew could not pull out a W. I got to be honest with you. I think Cortez's team, I don't want to say it, but I think that they outplayed him a little bit. But I think they lucked out a little bit too, man. I mean, really, I felt like when I was watching Dom Silva's team, they were playing a pretty solid defensive game. It seemed like I don't know, man. I really feel like Cortez's team outplayed him on the second night. But I don't know. I'm like this fine line, because I think a couple of those games really, give or take 1 or 2 momentum goals, could have gone either way. And that's what was really interesting about that series. And I think that's why I enjoyed watching it so much. I rewatched those final games. It was something special. And there's no fault to anybody. I think the defense on Dom's team played great, the entire team. And I think Cortez's team countered with a defense of their own that really allowed them to pull out these victories, because there were too many opportunities for Cortez's team on night 2, and there weren't enough opportunities for Dom Silva and Dalai Lama and those guys, and that's what it boiled down to, man. But the series itself, I mean, props to both teams, because it was a heartbreaker for one, and it was an exceptional win for the other. And I'm sad for Dali, because it's 2 different finals now that he should have probably had.
Don't be. I played forward 3 times, and I've made it to the finals 3 times, 2 game 7s, 1 goal away from winning, man. There ain't nobody who gets there like I do.
Get it. But no, man, I love both these teams. I think that both of them deserve to be there, and more than any other 2 teams, really. I mean, you can make an argument for No Regretski's team, but you curse yourself with just naming your team the season 8 champs, and that's all there is to that. So, but I got to give mad props to Cortez, because I'll be damned, another rookie captain comes out of the gate swinging and finds a way to bury it. And I also want to point this out too. I think this is the third time that Brick City has helped a virgin captain win a championship.
Hey man, Brick City, I think he's got the most championships in 239. I don't think there's maybe Odd Guy? How many does Odd Guy have?
Brick holds it with 3. Odd Guy has 2. He's had the chance to win, I think.
He would have had 3 if Sober wouldn't have traded him. That's the argument.
Yeah.
Sober, season 2, Thundercats. Why did you trade Odd Guy for Arborlee Barry? New discussion. No, but I mean, Brick came up big, man. I think it was game 6, scored with like 0.3 seconds left in regulation to tie it 1-1. And then it was won in overtime by Cortez's team. I mean, that's just clutch. That's a big thing. But
I
think the big guy for me.
Go ahead.
I think the big guy for me on Cortez's team, the guy that really stepped up, the guy that really got his team over the hump, the guy that really made a name for himself this season is the Tomahawk. He's been a guy that's been there around a couple of seasons. I think he played on a couple of C-Dubs teams where they went pretty deep. And, he really stepped up in a big way. I think night 2, he had a hell of a night. And, he really put that nail in the coffin for you guys.
Agreed. I really wish I was streaming it now so I could showcase the clip of game 6 there with the 3rd period. I actually, and this has kind of been the consensus from our whole team, we weren't even so happy that Brick scored. It was more of the patience from Wizzy on defense, that with like less than 2-3 seconds left, instead of him shooting it in like a clogged slot, he took the time to hold on to it, find a pass, and hit Brick. And it was just, I mean, from a player like Wizzy that isn't really known in this league, is in the sense of being that top talent guy. He's more of a guy that could be a middle draft guy that could play anywhere now. He really showed up big in the playoffs for us as well. So did Tomahawk, like you said. Realistically, all 5 of those guys on my team showed up. I was the worst player on my team, and I love hearing that every second of it. It's amazing because I am god awful, but just I wanted to bring that up anyway.
So let's talk about it for a second. I mean, when did Wizzy on defense come into a thing? Like, I don't think you drafted him to play him at defense, did you?
I actually did, and the reason is because before the draft, there was a night I was playing with Brick, and I didn't want to play defense, so I just played forward. So Wizzy got stuck playing defense, and he was playing it really well. And we were in the middle of the draft. I had just drafted Tomahawk in the 4th round, and we got to the 5th round. I'm like, Wizzy's still there? I'm like, fuck it, I'll take Wizzy. Either he plays forward or he plays defense. I'm like, he played defense better than I was the last time I played it, so he'll play there. If it's a mess, I'll go back. He'll go up because I know he can play left wing and right wing, kind of like you know that. So we started out the season that way. He literally had 1,000 ping the first game against Shelly's team, and I was just like, mess. Okay. So we tried a second game with me at defense and him at forward. He still had that much, he still had that bad a ping. Mess. So we brought in Elliotism, and we won that game. And from there on out, we just kind of won our series. But I'm telling you, he's a great defenseman in 18. I haven't really seen him play D in 19 yet, but I'm assuming he'll have it down because it's all about positioning in that game as of right now. So
the kid's good. I played with him a couple of games last night even. I mean, he's good.
Agreed.
We gave in, I think, 4 goals we let up in 2 games, and I was playing lefty, and all 4 of those goals were my fault.
He's good.
Yeah, man. So we had you had a good team. There was a lot of guys with a lot of playoff experience on your team. Tom FTW and Brick obviously both won championships together on Abilities Season 5, Victoria's Secret. C-Dub's a guy who captained a couple of teams. I think he went to the finals in back-to-back seasons and just wasn't able to close it out. So I think that's his 3rd trip to the finals, and he finally got to get one. I think that accounts for some. I think that that's something that, captains going into another draft, you kind of need to account for that. You need to know who can actually get to the finals and who's done a consistently good job in deeper runs in the playoffs. I think that's something to account for, and I think it's something that can really help you guys get over the edge. I think there's something to say for that.
Well, for sure.
Ability. Either of you guys have anything to say on that one?
I mean, I won't disagree with you. I think that there's some truth to what you just said about, players who have been there before, being able to get there again and to do well. But, as I said in a captain's chat, I believe it was, I scout players a little bit differently. I think that everybody has the ability to get there and make a deep run if they're matched up with like-minded players. I think that the trouble that a lot of these teams run into, if you look at some of the unsuccessful teams in 239 throughout the last couple seasons anyway, it's been a lot of bad chemistry. I'll tell you what, Dom Silva, he's nailed it on the head, and I followed his little motto ever since he brought it up, and that was #Chem. I think that is the #1 sole contributing factor to having a winning team. I don't want to break down teams I've been on, but some teams have it and some teams don't. And I mean, that's what it boils down to. So when I'm going into, and that's kind of what, I'm not going to get into that either, but you guys, if I ask you to stream some games for me so I can scout you, please do it. Anyway, that's why I scout players, because I look at what they're bringing to the table, and I don't know, I think I got a knack for it, but I can kind of match up play styles. It may not work out every time, but I think sometimes it does work out. If you're fortunate enough to get a good squad, then anyone can make a deep playoff run. I mean, you guys can slap me around for saying this, but I've gotten to see, Marine Mike and a couple other players play net that I would have never guessed could play net as good as they can, regardless of how much they said they've played net well, but to actually do it. So 19 is a new game, and it is, I think, showcasing some different types of talents or abilities out of different players. So it's something to be mindful of. And the captains who are going into this next season need to do some serious scouting with their eyeballs and not just their ears.
Especially with the new game and completely new mechanics and everything like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess let's jump into that a little bit. We kind of segued ourselves in there. NHL 19's out. We got a pretty brand new skating engine. I've really enjoyed it. I think it's the best innovation that they've come up with in the game for probably the last 5-6 years at least. Maybe since
14.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything that changed as much as that. Face-offs were kind of a big deal when they changed the face-off thing, but that's a small part of the game. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the skating engine. I've had a lot of fun with it. I really enjoyed how defense is playing right now. In previous games, you could pretty much pass through people just by the luck of the draw. Like you could say, "Oh, I'm going to hold the puck this long and pass it," and regardless of who's in the lane, sometimes it just might get through anyway. I don't feel like there's very much of that in NHL 19. I feel like if you're in a passing lane, you're going to get the puck, or you're at least going to knock it away into a different direction where it's not getting clean through the slot or something like that. And I really enjoyed that. Dolly, thoughts, comments? What do you think about NHL 19 so far?
I haven't had too much time to actually play the new game, unfortunately, but what I have played, from what I can gather, is that the game rewards discipline a lot more so than previous ones. The skating engine is great, but I find that your positioning is so much more important in this game because you're rewarded so much more for it, which is great for me. I love that. I love being in position. I think that's something that everybody needs to improve on. I think in previous games we've been rewarded for bad play, and I think that some of those guys are struggling with adjusting to this new game. That being said, I mean, there are people who are going to figure it out, and there are people that aren't. I like where this game's headed. I think they have a lot of things that they still got to fix. But yeah, I mean, from the little that I've played, I am enjoying the defensive aspect. I find playing forward is a little bit is more of an adjustment, especially. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the the skating as well, obviously. But back to what you said, I mean, there is some patience that you need to take into account while you're playing and whatnot. The most obvious being the poke check. They've obviously tuned that to the point where a lot of people are calling the RB the penalty button, and that's a different form of defense than any game has played so far. That's the other huge change that they've made in 19. There's no more spam pokes. They tuned it down a little bit so that you can actually use it here and there now than you were pre-patch a couple of weeks ago. And I've defense has come a long way. Stick lifts and hitting are actually useful. You can't crush a guy and then get tangled up in their body and then can't move the puck or can't get to the puck anymore. You can actually bump them off the puck, retrieve it, and then make a pass out of the zone. It's a good thing. I really enjoyed the play. I think it's going to take time for a lot of people to adjust. So if people aren't playing the game right now and are in this upcoming draft, you need to get on it because it's a completely different play style than 18, 17, 16, and all the prior iterations. So Cortez, go ahead, Ability. What do you got?
I was going to say, man, like I felt like what you were saying about the passing lanes and whatnot, I think a lot of that holds true for everywhere on the ice except when you get in front of the goalie. For some reason, I think that a lot of the pucks find a way to get through sometimes. So it might be a flaw on my end. I don't have all the defensive mastery. I'm no Sea-Doo over here. But I've been giving it a shot, too, on defense because I, too, felt like forward. I mean, and don't get me wrong, right? I'm an elite forward. I preach that shit. But, man, it does take an adjustment. And this game seems to be more difficult for whatever reason than the previous one. And that could just be, my lack of elite skill or whatever. But I've had some good stuff go on, but I've had some bad stuff too, where it just makes me kind of scratch my head. So I've been finding myself wanting to play defense a little bit more because it's a little bit more free back there. I don't know, maybe everyone's puck chasing. That might be part of my problem, but I don't know, man. I'm having fun with it. Cortez, what's your take on it, man? How are you making adjustments? I got to see you play some center, and you looked sexy out there. So what's your take on it, though?
Well, thank you. I actually haven't been playing it much the last few weeks because I've been having this Rainbow Six grind, but I really like the game. I mean, it's perfect for the defensive aspects of positioning finally rewards you now instead of the whole spam your poke check, get a poke off, whatever it may be. Positioning is really big. Offensively, I think you're going to see a lot of variation in skill gap, and I think a lot of people will agree. I think the people who are already good can only get better from this if they especially learn to work with these mechanics, and the people who already struggled are going to have that much harder of a time. I know for me, something that I struggled with in 18 was just overall my guys skating. So my game, in a sense of like, there's found a way for it to improve for me, but now I need to figure out a way to improve my passes because passing lanes are kind of fixed now. And there's little things like that. So, I mean, I think the skill gap is going to be that much larger. And I think for this season 9 draft, you're going to look at the guys in the first and the second round are really going to be those team difference makers compared to the fourth or the fifth, or if you're doing the whole goalie rounds in the fourth and you're looking at fifth and sixth, like there's going to be a huge skill gap between your top player on your team and your bottom player. And that's going to make for a lot of variation in the league this season, at least from what I've seen so far. But I'm liking the game. I love it a lot more than every other NHL. It's more bearable to play. It's more fun to play, but it's so hard to play if you don't have a team that knows what they're doing together because it's a game of quick passing, knowing where to be, knowing how to manipulate your guy. So we'll see how season 9 is going to go with 19. But like you said, Pale, no game like it before. So this is going to be completely new for everybody.
I'm jacked off about it. I mean, up about it. I'm jacked up, man.
All right, odd guy. All right, so season 9, it's quickly coming up. Hopefully, I'll put that in quotes because we kind of need Challenge Club in NHL 19 for us to have a season, and that's not out yet. And according to EA, they said that it would happen in the first week or two of October, or I think they said early October. So we'll see when that actually comes to play, because there's no season until that's in the game. There's no way that we can run a game consistently without that. So, but with that being said, we do have signups closing tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Signups for season 9 will be closed. That also means that position changes on the draft sheet, etc., will not be taken after 11:59 p.m. tomorrow. So if you look at your draft sheet and you see something that's wrong or off, you need to let one of the admins know so that they can get it changed for you before tomorrow night, or it's not happening. Part-time, full-time, same thing. If you're part-time and you want to be full-time, yada, 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 you need to get that changed. Our draft date, I think, is tentatively for October 7th. Right now, we have 12 teams. We comfortably. We could potentially add another 13th team, depending on how many signups we get between now and tomorrow night. But right now, we're probably looking at 12 teams for season number 9.
I like it.
Draft order. We're going to be doing draft order next week, live on Throwdown, whether Daly's here or not.
Let's see if we can go for 5 weeks. For 5 without Dales. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, the season should be starting shortly after that. So that'll be about the second week of October, hopefully pending EA adding Challenge Club into the game. But before we get to that, let's turn around and talk about, there was a little bit of drama in the finals. Thomps was Rule 1 as a result of the things that happened during the finals. And I just want to state real quick, Thomps Rule 1 was more of a culmination of a lot of different things than one action in the finals leading up to his Rule 1. It's not that he quit in the finals or says that he didn't quit or yada, yada, yada. And it's not that he pad stacked once and he was Rule 1 because of it. Earlier this year and earlier last year, there was issues with Thomps and pad stacking, and that he was warned about. During this season, in the middle of the season, he was talked to about it, threw a hissy fit on the site about it, and then was banned from the site for a while about it, and then came back, didn't have any issues, and then gets in the finals, the penultimate, the finals. And in game 6 and 7 or game 7 or whatever, is pad stacking guys again. That's an issue. The fact that he allegedly quit, who knows whether that happened or not. But it's more of a character thing. It's us saying, we really feel like he kind of took the league as a joke and didn't really care about it. And we'd rather just not have that type of personality around. So if any of you guys have a comment about that, go for it. If not, we can.
I got a comment. I got to get this off my chest because I just have to. Guys, I want you to know full-heartedly that, like, even though I threw a big sissy fit back in the day that I wholeheartedly regret now about the pad stacking thing, pad stacking, for all intensive purposes, has been deemed by our league to be a douche move. It's legit. It is what it is. It was voted on, all right? So because of this, ever since that occurrence with me, I've never once in a league game pad stacked again, and I won't. Because it's a douche move. That wasn't my intent. I really thought I was being creative. I was wrong. I admit I was wrong. So, and I have gone publicly on the forums and I've said this to players, especially the goalies who bring it up. I understand some of you enjoy the fun of it with me. Okay, it is what it is, but it's not appropriate for league play. And this is commonly known. So, Thomps was warned. He knew about it. Normally I would try and, take someone's side with something that I typically agree on, but I don't on this because it's already been ruled upon by all of you, and I'm with you guys. Like I said, I love this league. So, and I don't really understand why anyone would spend their time, as much time as we do in this, talking, playing amongst each other and whatnot, and take it as a joke. It's not a joke, man. We do this in fun, but it's competitive, and we're here because of that. So I just want you to know, like, all the goalies that are in this league and will be in this league, don't pad stack. It is forbidden. Thank you.
I don't want to bring the drama into it by all means, so I'm not going into that. I just want to let everybody know it out there. I was originally approached about this whole Thomps thing before I was told, just to be kind of told about it. And I actually originally told this admin that I was like, hey, I don't think a Rule 1 is fully necessary. I was just going off of like the whole finals. Anything else in the past I didn't know or wasn't aware of. So I just want to let it be known that on my team's behalf, we were letting everything go. It's the finals, shit happens, but we totally agree or totally understand what the admins had to do, especially with everything built up in the past. At the end of the day, whether he quit or whether he didn't quit in Game 7 there the both times or whatever it is, the pad stack. I mean, the pad stack didn't hit anybody, but it's still the idea that he did it. Either way, just don't be a douchebag. What Ability said, if it's in the rules in the league, just don't do it. If you want to be here, just don't do it. Just play your game, play it the way it is, play the full 60 minutes, get out of your game, and let it go. That's my viewpoint. Either way, it sucks to see such a great goalie leave for this league, but doesn't matter if you're elite or not. If you're a douchebag and you do douche moves, it's going to happen to you.
Yeah, and I got to say this too because I forgot to touch on it. But, man, if you are one of the players, like we all grew up, man, I don't know about you guys, but a majority of us probably grew up playing Little League, basketball, all those sports, right? And at the end of all those games, we shook each other's hands, right? Because it's a game. Whether you wanted to or not, you did it. So if you are the type of person, all right, that is going to quit out of a finals, then just get fucking gone, bud. And I mean that wholeheartedly. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. And in my opinion, solely warranted a Rule 1. Thank you.
All right. Well, does Dolly have anything to share? It was his teammate, but just in case he wants to, I mean, it's up to him.
I mean, I'm pretty open with my opinions. Here's what I'm going to say. And it's basically touching on what you guys all said. There's no reason to be disrespectful. There really isn't. This is unfortunately the second time in the last few seasons where I've had to deal with an individual who felt like they were too good for the league and threatened to quit. Well, Thomps didn't threaten to quit, but he has obviously rage quit at the end of the finals, so everybody saw that. But Kevin as well was just as bad. And we're all just here to have fun and play with people in a good community. Yeah, it's competitive. Yeah, everybody chirps each other every once in a while. That's all well and good. But there's no room for being an actual douchebag. It's just silliness. Like, everybody has their own opinion, and that's fine. But being disrespectful in the game and trying to find exploits to win, and this league isn't about that shit. We just want to play competitive hockey with good people. And if that's not your thing, go to LG, because they're all about exploiting everything they fucking can.
Very true. Anyway, Pale, continue us forward, my friend.
So, you want to do awards? Awards sound good?
We can do them, but I'm going to tell you right now, the photos I made, I can't just bring them up because I'm not streaming. So
no worries, we'll figure it out. Do you have the people that were nominated in front of you? Can you bring it up?
I'm going to check and see if I can. I'm trying to figure out where you sent me.
Post. I made one.
You made a forum post?
Yeah, about the awards, and I listed everybody that was nominated.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find that real quickly.
I have the winners written down. I don't have the nominations down.
No, I'm under the main form. Don't see it there. Under articles, it's not there.
I think it's under announcements.
Okay, let me check that. Season 9 signups, gamer tag switch with prioritizing.
Awards voting, it's there. I got it.
Okay, you do it then, because I can't find it because I'm an idiot. Either way, do it up, Dolly. Thank you.
Nope. I lost it.
It doesn't say that who was nominated.
I lost it, he says.
How did I lose it? I'm an idiot. I don't know. I did something wrong. You said it's
I mean, I can just go through and list the winners. Or
realistically, I think we can kind of think of a few people put up for each award. So for like, we could start with the generalized one that everybody knows everybody wins, or the one that everybody, like the person wins it, is the Rocket Richard.
Yeah. So the Rocket Richard is most goals scored in the league. And we actually had a tie for it. I think it's the first time that we've had a tie for most goals scored on the Rocket. And we actually had 3 guys, all with 48 goals apiece. It surprised me, 22. Welcome to the web, and no regret skis. All with 48 goals, all won the Rocket Richard this season.
Can we just talk about how unlikely that is to actually happen in the same season? Like, can we just talk about that? How 3 people all had the same amount of goals, and like none of them all had the same amount of goals before their last series, I believe, too. Like, I believe like Brian was like solid in the lead, and then surprised me, just came out of nowhere and way from behind and caught up. I think that's something like that.
He's done this before. It's almost like his name is just like a fortune cookie for real.
It really is. I do, Pale. I am trying to find this. Where the hell did you put it?
Check the G-Chat right
I'm
now.
almost positive that it's in announcements. Oh, you know what? I might have put it in articles.
Compliments of Necky.
Yeah, Necky just sent it, so we're good. All right. So, do you want to go down the? Let's do the Calder. Can we do the Calder next?
Well, first, let's do the other one. The Art Ross, most points in the league. No regrets. He's also won that.
No surprise.
That's obviously not one that was voted on. It's just he had the most points. Congratulations, no Regretskis on the Art Ross. And go ahead, Cortez. You just tell me which one we're doing and list off the nominations. I'll tell you the winner.
So let's do the Calder Cup. This is awards the league's most outstanding rookie player. We have Shea, we got Crispy, we got Blue Line King, and we've got Link Runner. Mr. Pale Poner, who is our Calder winner?
So the most outstanding rookie of the year is Annex Crispy. I think that one's a little bit obvious. He had a monster year for his first season in the league. I think he was like top 5 in points. Played on that dominant season 8 champions team that went to the quarterfinals, and hey, he had a great season to start off his 239 career. Shout out to Brian Winter's brother or cousin,
his brother,
something like that.
I believe his brother.
Yeah.
Listen, this guy, nobody deserves it better than him. This guy, I was going to draft him in the 3rd fucking round. I was like, nope, got to get swag. I got a message from Brian, because Brian was the pick after me, going, yo, I thought you were taking Crispy. I'm like, man, I had to go a different direction. He's like, thank you. And he picked him up. And obviously this kid tore up the league. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Obviously his brother's captaining in season 9. Is he going to take him in the first few rounds there? Is somebody else going to just swipe in and take him? It's going to be an interesting thing to see, and we'll move on from there.
I want to give props to Crispy, because he did have one hell of a year, and because of the year he had,
and on his off wing, forgot to say that, and his off wing.
I definitely am going to try and pick him up before all of you. So if I get that first pick, watch out, because Crispy might be it. But I want to give another shout out to Link Runner, because man, it is almost impossible for a goalie to win the Calder, I feel, just because goals and points kind of overshadow a lot of net keeping. But Link, dude, you had a great year. It was up there, and I think that for the majority of it, you played absolutely outstanding. So kudos to you, man. You did have one hell of a first year in 239. Good job.
Congratulations. What else we got, Cortez?
All right, next up, we've got the Selkie awarded to the forward who best excels in the defensive aspects of the game. Pale, I think you've been nominated for this before. Did you win it before?
Nah, I've never won the Selkie.
I'm sorry for bringing it up then. I just thought I'd actually ask because I remember nominating you. That's all I remember. So I'm sorry for that. But listen, our 3 people for this award are Tom FTW 88. We got Pogs and we got Hockey Town 13. Listen, you got Pogs, who's someone I believe he's been nominated for this award before. I'm not sure if he has won it. I know you have that list there in front of you. That tells you. This guy, great 200-foot player. You've got Hockey Town 13, who came in this league in season 5, made it to the finals there with Dalai Lama. Again, another great 200-foot player, which is why he's obviously nominated. Then you got Tom FTW, center for my team this season, goes to the finals, wins again. He originally came in this season, came in this league in season 5 with X Ability X's team, and I believe he actually won the Selkie that season too, or he won it that season.
I don't think he's ever won it.
You never
No, I
won
don't
it?
think you did.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
No, I think Stealth Luca D won it that season.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my apologies then. I'm just a douchebag.
Yeah, I think
Tom's a
Hobbs
beast.
and Hockey
It's
Town
okay.
have both won it before. I don't think Tom has.
Okay, so Dolly, anything on these players? All 3 of them or one of them? Anything on them?
I think it just becomes a case of the usual suspects. I mean, there's a reason the 3 of them are there season after season. All 3 of them are terrific. Two-way players. They're great on the dot. They're very creative and like in the slot, and they're good at dishing the puck off in the neutral zone really quickly to their wingers. Creates an explosive breakout. You can't go wrong with any of these 3 guys at all. I mean, all 3 of them are very deserving in the way they play, and good luck to all 3 of them.
Couldn't agree more. Ability. You know one of these guys really well. He was your starting center the year you won the season you won the championship. Out of these 3 guys, who do you feel is the most deserving for this award?
Oh boy. Well,
Way to set up the most biased answer ever.
the most.
I
look,
needed to. I needed
look,
to. Man. Come
I'm
on.
not,
I
I'm
gotta
not going to be biased in my answer. I'm going to lay it out for you, plain and simple. Tom's going to win the Selkie. I feel like I don't know who the winners are. Let's let that be known, right? I haven't been given this bit of information, but
I think
Tom's
only
gonna-
Pale and I do, right? Pale, only you and I do. Well, the admins, but then you and I
Yeah.
think.
Look,
No,
I'm
I
not
think it's
an
just
admin.
me,
No,
you,
No,
and Dale.
I know.
Just you. Okay. Well, and Dolly knows because
Do I
Dolly-
accidentally know somewhere and I just didn't look at it?
No.
Yeah, I posted it in the Throwdown chat. You probably
Oh,
just
Jesus
didn't look
Christ.
at it.
Anyhow, I'm saying Tom's going to win this, and I'll tell you why, okay? It's because of his boyish good looks. It's because of the way that he's such a 200-foot player, 800-foot player. The dude can play anywhere, okay? If this was played in the Sears Tower, he'd cover all floors, guaranteed, okay? He's that great. And he had one hell of a season. So I really don't see the award going to anybody else. Truth be told, there's a lot of good centers in this league. I could make an argument for a couple of them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to say Tom wins it. What do you guys got for me?
Really quickly, I'm gonna pop in here again. Tom's actually the only person who was on his team for the entire season and played that well throughout the entire season. Hockey Town was, but his team changed so much, and Pogs was on like 5 different teams. So I would be very happy if Tom won it because he would be very deserving.
Great. Mr. Pale Poner. Send us.
The winner of the Selkie season 8 is Tom FTW 88. He did win the Selkie this season. Yes. Cortez, your team, you had a lot of doubters going into the whole season, and there was a lot of guys on your team that that were proven playoff players, and I think a lot of them took it personally, and a lot of them played out of their minds for your team. And I think Tom's one of them. The guy was back checking like a maniac throughout the whole season, and you guys had a great defensive system and a really good offensive system, and he was a huge part of that. So congratulations, Tom. Way to go.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So we'll move on from there.
Nice.
The next award we will go into is the Lady Bing. This is awarded to the player who exhibited outstanding sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct combined with high level of play. We've got none other than C-Dub21 from the East High Wildcats, Pale Poner from the Kessel Run, Amazing Viper X. What team was he on there in the end? It was Schwartz's team, right? What was your team name called again, Ability?
Yes. Finibusters.
The Finibusters.
The Finibusters and the BTW on the West Side Connection. Pale. These 4 guys. I know you know the winner. Anything to say about any of them?
Well, I mean,
I listen.
Yeah.
I know you know the winner, but
Listen,
just kind of go with it.
It's the nice guy award, man. It's the
I know you're in it too, by the way. That's kind of why.
Awesome to be nominated for it. And you know, I really enjoy the community, and I've had a lot of fun in this league, obviously, by the amount that I've put into it. And you know, to be recognized like that is an awesome thing. And you know, I'm sure that there's plenty of other people out there that are deserving of it as well. And you know, I've just had a really good time in this league, and being up for that is really cool. I really appreciate it, guys.
Couldn't agree more. Mr. Ability. Pale Poner, one of the nominees. And we got 3 other people too. Ability, you look at this list and you see 4 great, outstanding guys.
Oh, yeah.
The great thing about this award is a nice guy wins it. For once, a nice guy gets to win something if they don't win everything else. Okay? Your name is not on that list. My name is not on that list. We know Dalai Lama's name is not on that list right now.
For one, think Dolly's name should be on that list. But okay, let's go.
You're like the only person in the league, man.
But listen, so Pale, we got you and these 3 other great guys. All 4 of you keep a level head. You all like to play at your top level. You all play great. You all bring that heart to your team, regardless if you're a captain or not. Can you please break down, or just can you tell us actually who the winner of the Lady Bing?
Yeah, so the winner of the season 8 Lady Bing is going to be C-Dub21.
Congratulations, Dub.
Yeah, man. I brought Dub into the league. He's a guy that played with me, Brick, and Figo and all them in club for a long time. And you know, C-Dub wasn't a guy that I really knew all that well before he joined the league, to be honest. Like, he would jump in and play, and he was always really quiet. He never really showed much personality when I had played with him. But you know, since he's joined, he's really kind of like enveloped himself in 239 hockey. I think he really enjoys it a ton, and you know, he just really loves playing the game. He loves, you know, being around the community. So I'm really happy to see him win this, because he's a guy that I think really deserves it. And you know, he's just one of the chillest guys that I've ever met.
I want to know. I gotta know the answer to this. How in the world do 2 nominees for the Lady Bing come from a longevity of playing with Brick and Figo? What the? That has got to be the most.
You have to be incredibly
I've ever heard.
Incredibly patient to deal with that party.
Holy cow, that's incredible. I mean, you know what? Throw this on another Brick City Alkalade. Apparently, he can breed Lady Bing winners, okay? Or nominees, at least. That's amazing. Okay.
Dolly, you're good friends with Dub. What do you have to say on this whole thing?
I think it's hilarious. Anybody who really knows Dub knows that he'll never call you out on anything, man. He'll never call you out on anything. But he's got a lot of opinions that he has no problem telling people privately. He's a really good guy, and he's deserving of everything he got this season. He just always puts his head down and tries his best for every team that he's on. And I'm very happy that that Dub won. All the other nominees are definitely deserving as well. Just in particular, I think Dub got his due this season, which is nice.
I couldn't agree more with that last statement. And a big thing for Dub is there during the whole finals, between what was going on between our 2 teams there with the whole scheduling, Rocco and Pogs going at me in the chat, me going back, and some things being said. Dub was the one person that steps in, even being on my own team. It was just kind of like, guys, do you realize what you're saying to each other over like an online hockey league? Like, let it go. Like, let the shit be the shit. Just play the game. We'll do what we got to do and move on to season 9. Like, that's a perfect representation for this award. So congratulations to Dub. Pale, congratulations on the nominee, and as well to Viper and BTW. And from there, we shall move on. So we've got, what do we want to do? Do we want to do the Vezina, or do you want to do the Jack Adams? Let's do the Jack Adams. It's less important. Let's do the Jack Adams, and we'll do the whole Norris and Vezina and, you know, Hart Memorial after that. So, Pale, which one would you like to do?
Jack Adams?
I just said that. I'm an idiot. Okay, my apologies. Anyway, the Jack Adams, awarded to the captain judge to help his team most on and off the ice. For nominees, we have Cortez EA, we have No Regretskis, Mr. Dominator Silva, and yet again, showcasing his name for the 2nd time on this list, Pale Poner. Ability. You are familiar with being a captain in this league, so are you, Dolly, but I'm going to go to ability first. You look at the 4 names, break it down for us.
All right, so I'm an advocate for Pale Poner on this one. Part of the reason for this is I think that, Pale does a lot of stuff that I don't think a majority of people even know about, but his input and his relevance in handling a lot of the day-to-day conversation activities, squirrels, whatever it pops up in 239, man, Pale's usually got a hand in it. It takes a lot of time. So when you're dealing with all that and you still have time to manage your team and play well, I mean, at an exceptionally high level, I almost said elite, but I mean, he's done it all. And I really kind of admire the way that Pale has gone about his few seasons in 239 and what he's kind of, aspired to. It's kind of like the Stableford in my eyes of what a 239 player, member, captain, admin should be. So props to you for that. But, I look at Noah Gretzky's too. He had a phenomenal year on the ice. I think the only thing now, I know these awards get voted on prior to the playoffs, but if I could vote after the playoffs, I would not vote for Gretzky's. And the reason for that was because I feel like he got completely shut down in his final series in the playoffs. And I know there's going to be arguments to be made there, but I really felt that was the case. So but push that aside if I'm not being hateful, because that was a little haterish. I understand. He had a great season. So, and as far as managing his players, he does a good job. I think he's got an odd way of doing it. I think it's his youthfulness that really throws me off a little bit. I appreciate what he does. It's just different from how I do things. So, but he's great nonetheless. I got nothing but love for Noah Gretzky's and Cortez. You did a phenomenal job this year, and you played great. I think the only thing I can say here is that you are going to get overshadowed because Brick was on your team. That's no secret. Anybody that doesn't believe that, you're just lying to yourself. But Cortez did a great job in setting this team up, in acquiring Brick. And some of the, the one trade that you had to make that basically ended one long-term, rejuvenized 239ers career. Congrats for that too. I was a little sad to see that happen, but you did it. You had a hell of a year too. To be honest with you, I really feel that all the players that are mentioned here are deserving. All the captains are deserving of this award, and I don't really have a clue who won it. So I'm going to be curious, and you guys move forward.
Dolly, you got your captains on this list as well, man. Ability didn't really get to break down Dom much.
Oh no.
Break down your own team.
That was Dolly's team. Come on,
break down your own team, man, because I know you had a huge part in it from day one. You were that first overall pick for Dom. You were a huge part of everything that team had to do. Just kind of break down how Dom works as a captain, possibly something like that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm going to preface it by saying that all four captains had very different reasons for being worthy of this award, whether it's you making a big trade to address your scoring issue, or Gretzky's near perfect draft strategy. It was very, considering what he had, he drafted that team, and it was a fantastic draft. And he deserves all the credit for that, doing that research, putting together that team from the very beginning. Pale addressed issues that he had and made a terrific second half out of it. Dom had a really shitty situation to start with and almost made a masterpiece out of it. It was almost every piece on that ice was near perfect. Like I said, we did ourselves in, but I had input on that team, but Dom himself made every decision, and he had a lot of good ideas. There are many reasons for each captain to be worthy of the award. I don't remember who won it, but all four of them deserve it.
I love you, Dom. I was just playing, buddy.
Either way, Mr. Pale Poner, you have the answers in front of you. Let's hear who won the
winner of the Season 8 Jack Adams Award is none other, Cortez EA.
Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you, boys. I mean, like Pale gave his whole spiel earlier, and I don't mean spiel as in a negative way, just overall in general. I'm very happy to be nominated for it by all the guys here. I'm very happy to have been voted for it. I went into the draft with a strategy of I'm just going to pick guys that know how to play hockey, that can play where they need to play, and go from there. And like Ability brought it up, I made one trade all season, and I'm not going to lie to you, it killed me to make the trade, and it was for the reason of Swag was – everybody was like, oh, Swag's going to be this guy when you start to lose, or Swag's going to be this guy if you start to win. Swag was an overall great guy. I loved playing with him. He even helped me with some IRL issues I was having with a car. He was a great guy, and I felt awful having to trade him. It's just he was the only piece I had offensively that had value at that moment in time, so I had to do it. And it's kind of unfortunate because he helped bring our team to where we were at that point in time. So that's why him and Elliotism both got thanks and honors within our final post. Either way, I'm just very thankful to be in this. I'm thankful for the admins that kind of reconsidered me being a captain after they had already picked the captains for season 8. So thank you to you guys as well. And overall, just thank you guys for voting for me. I'm glad to be a part of this league, and I can't wait to see how season 9 goes for all these new captains. And Pale, also great job in the season coming back in. Dom, great job convincing Yambag to trade for B Crips, so everybody didn't think the draft pick was awful. And I'm just busting balls. And obviously Brian as well, great draft strategy, being one of the best players in the league. He's obviously going to be a captain that's always on this list. So just thank you guys for the nomination. Thank you for choosing me. I really appreciate it.
I should have looked at who the winners were because, boy, I stuck my foot in my mouth. Huh? Way to not get overshadowed by Brick City, Cortez. Good job, man. Way to get the Jack Adams, bro.
I very much appreciate it. So listen, Ability, because you're a goalie, do you want to do the Vezina Awards or do you want to hear the Norris Award?
Look, man. Okay, the Vezina is something that I never thought about. It took me 8 years to learn how to pronounce it because I knew I was never going to get it. So I tell you what, I'm more interested in the Norris. Let's find out.
So you're interested in the Norris. All right. The Norris is awarded to the defenseman who demonstrates throughout the season the greatest all-around ability in the position. We have 3 great nominees of Rondon Vellante. We've got C-Dub21 making his return to this nomination list, and D-Mart 15. All 3 top-notch defensive guys. Did Rondon win it in season 6? What?
No, I don't think so.
He won. What did he win?
No.
The whole playoff
Drug
MVP
Monkey
thing
won
or
that.
something like that? Okay, so Drug Monkey won. What did Rondon win? Was it the Calder?
He was an all-star at one point.
It's safe
I
to
don't-
assume that most Norrises go to Drug or Chelsea.
Yeah,
That's
I
very
don't
true.
think he's ever won an individual award.
Okay, so my apologies then. I just suck at remembering anything ever. So, Dolly, D-Mart 15, C-Dub 21, and Rondon Vellante. You know these guys all well. You've played you play Endless Nights with Dub. You've played with D-Mart before you played against him. You played against Rondon. Who was the one defenseman out of these 3 that you hate to play against? I know you're a left winger, and most of these guys are right D.
I don't
So-
get to play against Dub.
That's well, yeah, Dub's lefty, duh. But
you
who
know,
do you think? Go ahead.
I've seen Dub play enough. Don't worry. Look, all 3 of them are very deserving. All 3 of them are good for different reasons. Dan did a terrific job adjusting to the position. Started a little bit slower considering what he's used to, like playing right wing in that elite level. But he got to that point. He got to be a very difficult defenseman to play against. He was great with his poke checks. He's always on point with his fucking pokes. It drives me nuts. And he was good at moving the puck. Rondon is an enigma. He does some weird shit, but it works, and he's very, very good at it. He's hard to read, and he'd be a delight to have on any team. Dub, in particular, like I said earlier, he puts his head down, and he plays his heart out for you every game. Every game, it's very tough to play against Dub because he gives it his all. He never gives up on a play, and that in itself is very difficult to play against because even if your teammate gets beat, Dub will be there to help him every time. So all 3 defensemen are very worthy of the award. Yeah, I guess let's see who won it.
Pale, when you think of the Norris Trophy, this is the thing that comes up every year. Is it about points? Is it about the defenseman that actually helps your team in the defensive aspect? Is it the guy who kind of can do both? What do you think it is when you evaluate the Norris? What is that one factor that makes you vote for that person over another one?
I don't know that there is one factor. I mean, obviously, it's about everything. It's an overall award at the defensive position. You know, you got to be able to put up points, and you have to be able to be great defensively at the same time, and that's really tough to do as a defenseman. You have to be on a team that uses your offensive abilities to that you're capable of. And B, you have to be able to get back and be in position and make life hell for the other team when they're trying to come at you and score on your goalie. So it's a really hard position to play. It's a really hard position to excel at. I think in general, for me anyway, I look at the team that's around the individual and see how much of an impact they had. And what would happen if there was a comparatively worse player at their position and think about what the possibility would be if they weren't there. I think I think that's kind of how I judge it. I would like to see, you know, who makes the biggest impact at their position over somebody else. And, you know, anyway.
Well, listen, I want to let Ability real quickly. Ability, you are an elite forward. You are in a championship goalie. Yeah. What does it take for a person to be an elite defenseman?
Really, what I focus on the most when I'm watching some of these guys is, you know, I'm interested in who stays home, who doesn't jump, you know, and then past that, who's in the proper lane. Those are the things that I look for when I'm scouting. I just want to know that you can cover those three things. Don't jump up. At least play sound defensively. If you are cutting up ice, if you're trying to pinch that dude on the boards when that pass is coming, you're getting cut. You don't know it, but you're cut. Like, I'm not drafting you unless you are rock bottom and I'm stuck in a position in the 6th round or something. Like, you're not getting drafted. So, I mean, I can tell you that these guys obviously don't suffer from that issue at all. And they all had supporting defensemen that helped them along the way. But more so, a lot of these guys, they were the ones that were staying back. They were the ones covering breakaways, if there were any, or 2-on-1s. And to be honest with you, I don't really think that there is a right or wrong in the pick here. All three of them probably are deserving of it. I don't know if I had a favorite here. Ooh.
This is a hard. I think, in my opinion, this is the hardest one I had to vote on out of all of them.
I'm going to plead the fifth. Let's send it to Pale. Who we got?
All right, Pale. Who do we have for the Norris Trophy?
The winner of the Season 8 Norris Trophy is C-Dub 21.
Congratulations, Dub, man. Listen, I've said it to you since Season 6 and Season 5, actually. I think you're one of the best defensemen in this league. I think you are the best left defenseman in this league. That might step on some other people's toes when I say that. Every season, you excel at the position. I think you're always overlooked by these other top people in this league that excel at defense. And, I mean, that's on them. And that's totally fine because it allowed for me to get you in the 2nd round where I think you definitely don't need to be there by that time. So I'm happy for you. Very happy for you, man. I'm pretty sure all these guys are. Congratulations to all the other nominees for getting there. C-Dub. Congrats, bud.
Congrats, Dub, man. Listen, Season 4 was Dub's rookie season, and at the time, I was actually thinking about putting Dub on D, and he was totally against it, didn't want to play defense at all, had no inclination to do so. And but we put him there for like 3 games or something like that anyway, and he looked really good. He didn't think that he was playing well, but he looked really good. And I told him, I'm like, I think you might be a defenseman in this league, man. Like, I think that might be a thing. And the next season, obviously, he gets drafted to the Hut Heroes to play defense. He wasn't very happy about it at all, and then excelled at it. He was just phenomenal at it. And I think, you know, he was kind of overlooked in that sense. And, you know, he was always playing with Chelsea. I think he had a season with another top D man as his partner. And just, I don't want to say that he was underrated or that he didn't get credit. I just think that, you know, people didn't give him as much credit as was due. And I think he's done a really good job transforming himself into a top-tier defenseman in this league. So congrats, Dub. Way to go.
I agree with everything you just said right there. I also think that he's come a long way, and there was a big transformation, and it's really shined through in the last 2 seasons. So congrats, C-Dub, man. Well earned. Norris, baby.
Dolly, you're good friends with him. Again, Dub, let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the Norris Trophy probably should go to the person who makes the biggest difference defensively for his team. And that certainly, in my opinion, was Dub this season. He played the entire season at a really high level. I never faltered once. And Dub's the kind of guy that he always thinks everything's his own fault. If anything happens, he carries the weight of the world on his shoulders. And it's about time that he got credit because he was a big part of every team that he's been on. And not only that, but Dub will also play forward and stuff. Like, he's a very versatile player. But when he's on D, he's in his element, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Couldn't agree more. But listen, congrats, Dub. We'll move on to this award, the Vezina. This one is giving me a headache because I hate one of the people that are on this list because he's on my fucking team. That's Tomahawk. Okay, the Vezina is awarded to the league's top goaltender. We have the Tomahawk, we got Thomps, and we've got Sober Enough. Mr. Pale Poner, you know these 3 goalies. You know them all. You know what it takes to be a Norris winner because I know you've won the fucking Norris. I know I got that one right. I know you've won it at least once. Yes, you did. Not Norris. Fuck, Vezina. Shit, I can't talk. Fuck. You've won the Vezina. You know what it takes to be a Vezina winner. What do you do as a goalie to put yourself in Vezina contention?
You make the saves when you're supposed to make them. And, you know, hopefully your team cleans up after you when you need them to. It's tough, man. Goalie's such a hard position. It's just you could go for so long of stretches where you're like not even touching your controller and then just have to pick it up and like all of a sudden make a ridiculous save or something like that. Like it's hard. So respect to the guys that are out there that play goalie. Respect to the guys that play goalie every season over and over and over again, because it's such a mental position, like in real life, but it's a mental position in this game too, because if you like zone out and like stop like paying attention for a half a second, you're just going to get killed. And it's abusive is what I want to call it. I have a hard time playing it over and over and over again, but you know, it's these guys that play it all the time in our league are the best guys in the league. So thank you.
Completely agree. And Dolly used to be a goalie, might be a goalie again next season. What do you think about the Vezina, and what do you think about these 3 nominees?
Yeah, goalie is usually a thankless position every time the puck goes in. People usually blame the goalie. It sucks. It sucks being a goalie full time. I pity everyone who decides to do it, and I'm thankful for everyone who decides to do it, so I don't have to anymore, because I've been there. I know it sucks. It's the worst. It's you have to be the most focused in that position out of any position, because anything can happen at any time. Your teammates can fuck up and lose the puck, and a breakaway is coming at you at any moment, and it just blows, because then it's your fault that you didn't save the breakaway. Tons of respect for everybody who plays it. All 3 nominees, I mean, they're good for different reasons. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Ability, man. I said it earlier. You are a championship goalie. You know it like I do. You've had your great seasons. You've had your rough seasons. You could. Like, I think you're someone that if you play your best game, you obviously could be a Vezina potential guy. Break it down for us. Vezina, being a goalie continuous every season, that strain it puts on you. Break it down being a goalie in general, kind of how Pale was kind of talking about it a little bit.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you want? I tell you this. Honestly, goalie is really only as hard as the defenseman and the team that you are playing with. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because when I put together Victoria's Secret, and by the time we started figuring things out, that team was tough. That team was tough because I had the hand of God. And that dude, you know, we'll never get. He should have won the Norris that year, and I don't care what anyone says. Hands down, he should have, because you guys are just. You should understand this at this point right now. But what Brick did was he stopped almost as many pucks as I did. Okay, and seriously, he did. And if it wasn't,
we're talking about the Vezina.
Yeah,
and we're just having a rant on Brick City right now.
No, man, you got to
be jerking off at home.
Inability is mine. Brick City is responsible for everyone's success in the league. You just need to accept it.
Look, man, if I don't do it, my G chat blows up. But seriously, I think you guys would have handed him the Norris that season if you really could have understood fully the depth of how much like my success came from him and Odd Guy. Those guys really held it down. So that's where I was going with that, was the team structure. That is really, I think, it has a lot to do with, you know, how hard playing goalie is. With that being said, I've been on the opposite side too, and I've had teams that were, you know, I wasn't getting the help I was used to getting, and I struggled horribly. So I think that we got to see a little bit of that this season with the nominees that we've got up for the Vezina. You know, we had a guy on there who had a team that really supported him, but on top of that, he had phenomenal games throughout the year. And I'm talking about Sober when I say that. I think that, you know, he got chirped a little bit for the team he was on, and I don't know if he really was able to cope with that well, but a lot of his success did come from his team, whether he realizes it or not. But at that same point, he played great. You know, Tomahawk, this dude has been playing good for several years. He's had a couple iffy seasons in between, but I remember when I first jumped into 239 with him, we both had pretty decent seasons. And who was the other candidate?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because he got rule 1, baby. That's why it doesn't matter. Yeah, peace out. I already forgot about you.
All right, Pale. Vezina winner for season 8. Who do we got?
The season 8 Vezina winner is the Tomahawk.
Congratulations, Tomahawk, man. You were the goalie for my team this season. I mean, I picked you up because I know how much you've improved. I'm not going to give you a lot of kind words. You didn't sign up for goalie again because you're trying to go skater only. So I'm just going to say congratulations. This season, most definitely deserved. You had an under 2 goals against average. You had the most shutouts in this league. You had the best save percentage. I believe you had the best. Yeah, you had the best save percentage by 0.2 over Cripps. So either way, I think in every category, you ran as a goaltender this season, regardless of our team in front of you. You came up with the saves when we needed them. You came up with the saves when we didn't need them. In the finals, you showed up big. Either way, well-deserved. If you guys want to say anything, be my guest. If not, I want to say fuck you, Tomahawk, for not signing up as a goalie for season 9, especially when we just lost a top goalie in this league. So
yeah, I'll quickly say something here. There's a big difference between the way Tomahawk played last season's playoffs and this season's playoffs. He made a ton of big saves for you guys. Regardless of how many chances we had, whether it was a lot or a little, they were quality chances, and Tomahawk made some outstanding saves time and time again. He deserves every bit of the award, and congratulations to him.
Agreed. Ability, Pale. Either one of you quickly on Tomahawk, or are we just going to let him kind of go by?
Yeah, so Tomahawk, listen, man, you're crazy in a good way. And I really enjoy being in parties with you, even though we haven't been all that lately. He's another guy that I brought into the league through LG. And, you've played out of your mind for this past season. But even before that, you were playing really well as well. And it's good that you got some well-deserved recognition this year. I'm excited for you. That all said, there will be no individual awards for you next season when you're skater only. I'm sorry.
Hey, you speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So either way, we'll move on from that.
Hold on. I got to chime in here. I want to share something, man. When I first played in 239, I think it was season 4. At the end of the season, it came time for awards, and I don't believe that. Obviously, my name wasn't up there for Vezina, and I don't think Tomahawk's was either. But I remember Tomahawk one day in chat through conversation. I don't know what led to it, but he put out the sentence, "Ability and I are the best goalies in this league." And when he said that, I realized 2 things. I realized, one, he didn't have a clue what was going on. And 2, I really didn't think for that reason he was ever going to win the Vezina. So coming from season 4 into season 8 and watching how you have just grown and made it happen for yourself, I got to say, man, props to you. And I wholeheartedly understand if your opinion on that initial statement has changed since then. Okay. Love you, bro. Congrats on the Vezina.
Couldn't agree more. So listen, we got 2 more awards left. Personally, I'd like to save the Conn Smythe for last, but I know most of the time it's the Hart. So I will ask you guys what you would like to do.
3 more awards.
Huh?
3 more awards.
What awards am I missing here?
Hart, Ted Lindsay, Conn Smythe.
Ted Lindsay. Okay, I didn't even see the nominees on here. That's my apologies. Well, let's do the Ted Lindsay then, since what's the league voted on. I don't remember who the fuck was put up for it, so I don't have it here in front of me.
I think it was only 2 people for the Ted Lindsay and the Hart.
Who were they for both?
Welcome to the Web and No Regretskis.
Yeah, so the Hart was No Regretskis and Welcome to the Web. So I would assume yes. Go ahead, do the Ted Lindsay then. Just explain it.
Yeah, so Ted Lindsay is for the league's most outstanding player. It's voted on by the players of the league as opposed to the media just doing the general nominations and voting on the other individual awards. So I think there's some people out there that would probably think that this one's a little bit more prestigious. That's the word that I was looking for. and are really proud to win the Ted Lindsay over the Hart or something like that. But yeah, I mean, there's no Regretskis and Welcome to the Web. Both of them co-won the Rocket Richard this year. Regretskis had the Art Ross. They played for different teams, obviously. Welcome to the Web on West Side Connection with Marty McFly. Was a big part of that team. I think he moved from center to right wing or from right wing to center at some point in the season as well.
Yeah.
And then No Regretskis, who, obviously has been lighting up the scoreboard for the last season or two, or before that, 3 seasons ago. Yeah, so I think both these guys were well deserving in the nominations. And, what else you got?
I mean, Dolly, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, both these players are terrific players. I mean, there's no doubt, I think, in anybody's mind. Both of them were very valuable to both of their teams, and they contributed a lot. Considering the amount of goals that each team scored, both players had a high percentage of points, like point contribution in general. Like I think they were both over like 65% of their team's overall points, which is just crazy in general to do. It's tough because weighing a center's value to their team over a right wing's, but both centers play both sides of the ice, or both players play both sides of the ice very well. So, in my opinion, both would be very deserving.
Ability?
I don't know how I feel about this. Truth be told, I mean, like I've watched a lot of web streams and I've watched a lot of the series with No Regretskis. And in my opinion, they both contributed to their teams and they both put up numbers. But in my opinion, I've got to lean heavily in favor of No Regretskis on this one, just for sheer overall skill. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. I just don't think that there's any situation where you throw the two of these guys on ice and Regretskis doesn't outperform Webb. And that's just my take on it. So who do we got? Who's the winner?
Really quickly, I would like to add to that as well. One thing that doesn't get talked about in terms of contribution to your team is what's said in parties. And I don't think there's many players in this league that are like Brian, like No Regretskis, in terms of communicating what he wants done for his team, how he wants to deal with issues when people are raging on their team. He's very level-headed, and from what I understand, Webb wasn't nearly as vocal as Regretskis was in general, which is very valuable to any team that anybody's playing on.
Well, and what I value it as is when I look at the two, they're both top talent guys. I think Ability said it great. When you put them on the ice together, I think Brian would outwork Webb 9 times out of 10. But with the way I say it, I look at it as kind of how Pale looks at it with the Norris. I take that person out of their element, put a significantly worse person in that position, and see how that team works without that person. I think Marty's team with Jofus and BTW, I think that team works at not the same rate, of course, but works at a rate where they could score goals. It may work better, it may work worse, anything like that. But I think you take Brian out of that element of his team, and that team gets significantly worse. Now, I say that because of Brian's arguably the best forward in this league. Obviously, you put up arguments for anybody, but the thing is, Brian's system is very solid for him. His center doesn't need to be. This is not a diss at Kyle, because that's not a diss at that. I'm just saying in general. His center doesn't need to be a top-end guy. His center just needs to be someone that can play the 200-foot game, that can win some draws and be where where Brian needs it to be. His left winger just needs to be able to put the puck in the net, and Brian can't. And I mean, he also had 2 great defensemen. But again, at the end of the day, like you said it perfectly, Dolly, Brian talks in his parties, communicates to his team and says, hey, we need to beat the trap by doing this. Hey, I'm sending it down low. Make sure there's somebody going to be there from now on. Like, he's a very vocal leader. He's obviously the obvious choice for these awards, in my opinion. But again, everybody in this league thinks differently. So, Pale, my friend, let us hear who the Ted Lindsay award winner is.
The season 8 Ted Lindsay award winner is No Regretskis.
Congratulations, Brian. I think did he? I'm not even gonna guess. Just go. Just keep going. Just do a thing. I don't know. Do a thing. Do a thing. Just do a thing. I don't know. I'm not guessing. Just do a thing.
Cortez would like you to continue on with the No Regretskis award ceremony.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, no regrets. He's a great guy. He's a great player too. I really enjoy playing with him when I get the chance to, and I think he's very easy to play with. He kind of tells you what he wants, but at the same time, like he's in the position that he's supposed to be in my mind when I'm playing with him. Like, it's very easy for me to read off of him on where he wants to go and where he wants the puck to go. And I really enjoy playing with him. So shout out to Brian. I think he's going to continue to win awards like that in this league because he's that talented. And yeah, way to go.
I would like to mention real quick before we move on to any other awards, the power of media. This is gonna. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
But it will let it be known that Tomahawk has now re-enlisted into season 8 or season 9 for goalie. So, but that's a thing now. Okay, Captain, take note.
Way to go, Tomahawk. That's the right decision.
Agreed. 100,000,000%. Yes. Yes.
Thank you to. I don't know if I can name names. Hey, thanks, EM. I appreciate the intel.
Well, I mean, Tomahawk messaged me. He's like, "Hey, make sure to tell them that I told it." Either way, I wasn't going to do it, but all right. Listen, move back to goalie. Great job, Tomahawk. But we're on to the Hart Trophy, and this is the trophy that is awarded to the league's most valuable player, voted on by media or admins, whatever the hell you want to say it is. Again, the same 2 candidates. We don't really need to say anymore. Pale, tell us who the winner is.
The Hart Trophy winner for season number 8 for most valuable player to their team is No Regretskis.
Congratulations, Brian. Both the same award by players and the media and the admins. You won it both. Congratulations. Well deserved. Webb, congratulations on being nominated. And if anybody else wants to add anything, be my guest, but I don't think we really need to because we just did it for the whole Ted Lindsay.
I mean, this is a really heartbreaking loss for Webb. I understand being nominated for both of these. No, I'm just no Regretskis, man. You had a phenomenal year. You did an outstanding thing. Ever since you stepped foot in 239, you've been doing incredible stuff. So, man, you got my vote, and I'm pretty sure you got everybody else's vote. So just keep it up, kid. Man, he's a kid. You can believe this? He's coming in here and he's owning all of us. Damn, man. Jesus Christ. Good job, bro.
Pale, can you please explain to us the final award that we have left?
Yeah, so we've got the Conn Smythe left. We've only voted on this once before, and that's because we were only organized enough to vote on it once before. All the other times was just last minute. Anyway. So the Conn Smythe is the playoff MVP. Obviously, it needs to be done after the playoffs, so it's like 2 separate votings. But we got enough votes this year, and I was organized enough to put it together and make it work.
Thank you, Pale, by the way, before any of this. Pale did a great job organizing everything like always. Fuck you to anybody who doesn't vote and makes this guy go search for votes. It's literally so simple as opening up a document, clicking buttons, and clicking submit. It's that fucking simple. Thank you, Pale, for all that you do with that. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Anytime.
Anyway, the Conn Smythe, let me see. Who did we have for nominations for Conn Smythe? I think I pretty much just put
it was the whole Wildcats. Yes, it was the whole Wildcats.
Yeah, so obviously it was going to one of Cortez's team. I think that there was a lot of good guys that were nominated for it. Like I said, I think there was Tomahawk had a huge playoffs. I think he was a very important part to your team. C-Dub as well, Norris winner. Was great on defense throughout the whole season and then improved on it in the playoffs. Wizzy War, he's a guy that was stepping up into a defensive role for the first time in this league and got a chance to prove that he could be a top defenseman in this league. And I think he did. Cortez, yourself, you're out there captaining, managing your team. You're playing left wing for the most of the season, correct?
Yeah.
And that's not really your forte. Tom FTW, he's Selke winner. He's best defensive forward in the league by our standards, playing out of his mind. And then who am I missing?
Brick.
Brick? Am I missing Brick?
Yeah.
Brick. Brick's just out there. He's, winning 3 belts and, making things happen on the ice. I'm sure I wasn't in your parties during the playoffs, but I'm sure you got a taste of what I was talking about before on previous throwdowns, where I say he's a guy that can analyze a game and can see somebody's game plan and be vocal to tell you how to beat it and how to change your game style to counter what the other team is doing.
Absolutely. And then, before we say who the winner is, I have to kind of give a shout out to every person on my team for that. Realistically,
that's what your thread was for.
I know my thread was very long, but I only get to do this once, so let me just enjoy it before I never get to do this again. But Dub going from defense to forward in the finals, Brick going from forward to defense, Wizzy switching around with me a few times, Tom staying at center, Tomahawk staying in net, everybody doing all their jobs. And again, me being the worst player on the ice makes me so happy because I am trash, but I know there's people worse than me, and I know there's a lot of people better than me. So I think realistically, this is one of the harder awards I've had to vote for. Wizzy played absolutely amazing in the playoffs. He showed up big defensively and offensively. Dub doing his defensive jobs and going up to offense and doing his offensive jobs. Tom showing up big in the finals. I mean, he slept through game 5, or was it game 6? Yeah, game 6 against Pale. 5? I can't fucking remember. Game 5 against Pale. And BC Renton, first game and only game of all season, comes in and helps us win. Tom did his job in the finals by scoring a hat trick there in game 7. Brick, we made a switch around game 2 of the finals saying, listen, we got to beat the trap. Brick, go back there and quarterback the play. And, he did his great part too. Everybody on this team did their role, and I just want to say again, congrats to them. Anybody could have been a winner except for me in this category, so I'm happy with whoever wins. Anybody else got something to say? Because I always ramble, so I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, Pale. Go ahead, man, and break it down. And just
the winner of the Season 8 Conn Smythe award is XDLX Brick City, New Jersey. Congrats, Brick.
Listen, again, hard award between Tomahawk and Brick. I think this was one of the harder awards to pick. Pale and I discussed it a little bit because obviously we both knew the winners. Very hard because Tomahawk saved us, but again, Brick did a lot of the carrying the load from the defensive end to make us kind of work it around, scoring that game 6 winner and with 0.3 seconds left. Again,
legendary.
That exactly. Without that goal, there is no game 7. There is no belt. There is nothing of that. So again, very deserving for Brick. But anybody of those other 4 guys could have won it. I'd have been happy for them. They could have been deserving of it as well. So if you guys have anything you want to say, be my guest.
I already did my Brick blowing.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say anything.
Dolly, do you want to blow Brick a little bit, or you want to blow somebody else?
No, your team played great. There's nothing more I can really say. You had multiple elements that really pitched in there. I don't think that anyone in particular won it for you. I don't think it was just Brick. I don't think it was just Tomahawk or Tom or Dub. Everybody pitched in when they needed to, and your team played very well all around, including Wizzy. Switching him from defense made it it was difficult for me to adjust to you guys changing your defensive style so fast. It took me at least a game in order to figure it out. But it's the versatility that your team had, and that's incredibly valuable. People underestimate how valuable it is to be able to move pieces around, because not only does it change the way your team plays, but it changes the way you're being attacked. And man, it was just a tough team to play all around. So good on all your guys, because they're all deserving.
Thank you, man. And again, congrats to your team for making it to the finals. You guys were a tough opponent for sure. Again, it was a great season. Congratulations to all the winners. Pale, do you have anything you want to add? Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so to wrap it up, I just want to run through the All-Stars real quick.
Yes.
Because those are also voted on by the league. So our first team All-Star is No Regretskis, Welcome to the Web, and Cosmic EA up front, with C-Dub 21 and D-Mart on D, and the Tomahawk in net. Our second team All-Stars on forward are Brick, Schwartz, and Holtby. On D is Sidu and Rondon Volante. And our second team goalie is I Soldier Up.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job overall all year with the awards. As much as you guys like to give me all the credit, I can't do it by myself. So I appreciate everybody in the media helping me out. I appreciate the league getting involved and voting on the things that they can vote on. Thanks for making it easy for me.
Absolutely. Anytime. Again, thanks for doing it. Dolly and Ability, thank you for being sexy as always and coming here.
I want to see that All-Star game.
We say that every year.
We say that every year. It's only ever happened
the
once.
All-Star game, man.
There have been some amazing All-Star teams the last 5 seasons, and it's happened
once. One time.
It's happened one time.
We had one
Not
All-Star
since I've been here. Not since I've been here.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was season 4.
I've been here too. Yes, it was season 4. It was.
What?
Yes. You guys had a game and everything, and then the end of the 3rd period, I think, a game 3, because you guys did like a best of 3. They started doing like every player have like a penalty shot type thing, and we casted it and everything. It was a fun time to watch. It was a great game to watch.
I want more of that in my life, and these are a couple teams that I'd like to see go at it, man. So if you guys get bored
this season,
if you want to test
we
it
have
out
some
on
time
that
off,
team,
obviously, because we don't know how long it's going to take until EA puts in the club challenge thing. So maybe we can work something out one night where we get all the All-Stars on and
just try to club search until you find each other or something.
Yeah, we ran a 12s lobby 2 nights ago, and it wasn't that hard. We just searched for each other at the same time, and we found each other right off the bat both times that we ran it. So maybe we could make something like that happen.
Yes. Couldn't agree more. Listen, if you guys do it, I mean, Ability and I are in it. Ability and I might cast it. Hello?
I mean, I'm down to narrate some stuff.
All right. Listen, if you guys, whoever admins, players, you guys want to organize it, like always, organize it. Somebody just let us know, and we'll do what we can. But listen, it's been the longest show we've had. We've had the only show we've had in a month. Next week, we're picking the captain order for the draft order, and the week after that, or that Monday after that, is the physical draft. Everything sound right there, Pale?
Yep, that should be about right. So next Thursday, we're going to do the draft order live on Throwdown. Again, tomorrow, signups close. You will not be able to change positions. You will not be able to add or remove positions. You won't be able to change full-time or part-time status by tomorrow night. So get it in now or forever hold your peace.
Couldn't have said it any better. Thursday, draft order. Monday is the draft. Not this Monday, but the following Monday. Dolly, man, it's been a long show. Your sexy self made it here. You've been losing some weight. You've been going to the gym. Thank you for making time for us. You're looking great, buddy.
Yeah,
proud to have you here.
Thank you. I'm on that wedding diet. Look, I'm not going to have much time this season. I'm probably playing part-time. Even then, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make even 1 series a week. So it's going to be very tough for me in particular. But I will be here as much as I can because I love the league and I love all you guys, despite what people may think. I'm not a complete asshole. So hopefully I can be here to contribute to some media stuff throughout the season.
All right, perfect. Ability, man. You've been with us this whole time. You and I we're both thinking about boycotting this show tonight.
Yeah, Daily, where you at, man? Me and Cortez were like inches, just moments away from boycotting this whole Throwdown thing.
And Pale Poner showed up and saved it.
Pale saved us is what happened. But no, man, I'm actually happy that we were able to do this tonight. So props to Pale for initiating it and cutting out my emo. But we do this for you guys, man. And congrats to all the winners tonight of the awards. Primarily no regretskis. No, I'm just kidding. All of you guys, man, well deserving. I think we had a real successful season 8, and season 9 is going to be tough. And I just lost my train of thought because I do put on sunglasses and it totally blew my mind. So Pale, take us away.
Pale, you're looking really nice, man. You're looking really good. You ready for that season 9?
Yeah, man. I'm excited about it. I'm back in the draft, and I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know who I'm going to, and we'll see.
Are you sticking part-time or did you go full-time?
No, I switched. I'm full-time now.
Good boy. I'm very proud to hear that. The glasses are looking fresh on you. Just got to get that top hat and a cigar in. You'll be Ability in no time. But listen, guys.
Yeah, not a big cigar guy. I might go for like a martini or something like that. That would be fun.
Even better. Just pinky out. Remember it. But
Right,
listen,
exactly.
Next Thursday, draft order. That following Monday is the draft. Season 9 is coming to you soon. Remember, signups close tomorrow night. Sign up, or else you are not playing in Season 9. Change your positions by tomorrow night, or else you're playing those positions for Season 9. That's how it goes. Anyway, thanks for joining us for the first time in a month on the Thursday Throwdown. Hopefully, the icon can show up for fucking once on his show. Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week. Until next time, it's been the Throwdown crew. We're out.
Peace.